Yeah. So tonics are great. You can age them and make them just as powerful and almost as strong as a tincture. Sometimes the alcohol is just a bit stronger catalyst at pulling those photochemicals out of the fibrous parts of your roots and bark and herb and stems and flowers of your herbs. So it just depends on what herb you're using and what your end result needs to be. Interesting.
Wow. So, on your website, I saw a product that I'm really, really interested in because I was diagnosed, I think it was 1991 with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
Yeah.
And, sometimes the diagnosis is almost worse than the actual, condition, right? Because it just it scares you your whole life. So, but you have something on your site called the Heart Attack Pack. And my mom had a heart attack a few years ago. And so what is this? And how would we, keep it on hand and how would we use that?
Well, yeah, we came up with that because, some folks, kind of like in remote areas, or they may go camping or hiking and they may, have heart issues and you can't get to emergency room too quickly. Some people may be vacationing relatives and friends and don't know where the emergency room is. So this is kind of a nice little backup until you can get to a hospital to become stabilized if it's real serious, okay? Because we want to be smart. We don't want to be dumb. We want to use common sense, right, Justin?
Right.
So the formulas in there are designed to pull someone out of a heart attack, okay? If they feel the onset of one coming on, to stave off the heart attack. And what it is it's cardiovascular herbs, circulatory herbs are in there, and then also herbs to help with breathing, to dilate the bronchial, because a lot of times when you're having a heart attack, it's hard to breathe. You feel like, your chest gets real tight, so it relaxes the diaphragm muscle and dilates the bronchioles. And also, if someone's unconscious, I've also seen this used. Our herb professor used this once, where he would take those types of herbal formulas anyway and kind of squeeze it into the cheek of the patient who was unconscious and let it go down and make them swallow it, and it would bring the blood flow back into the head, the chest, the area, even when they were looking pretty pale and grayish, so they were on their way out, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's a lot so you can do with herbs, and people are kind of intimidated. I can understand that. It is a learning curve, and but you just want to take it one step at a time and empower yourself with some knowledge and common sense and things like that. So roll up your sleeves, and you'll be amazed what you can do with some of these herbs. And for you. You definitely want to tap into some hawthorn berries, and the hawthorn berries have some really rich flavonoids that the heart muscle likes very much. It also protects the heart muscle from damage should you have a suspension of blood flow and oxygen to it. So, because a lot of people, when they have heart attacks, they'll get damage to the heart muscle, right? Mm-hmm. So the hawthorn berries help prevent that until you can revitalize someone. So your cardiovascular herbs are going to be, your hot cayennes. I'm not talking about, the kind of cayenne you put in your chili. Mm-hmm. That's kind of 10,000 Scoville heat units. That's not enough. We need something that moves mountains. So we're going to use 250,000 Scoville heat unit. We're going to use habaneros, a little bit hotter than your jalapeno, maybe even your African bird pepper if you can get that. So we got to have power. So that's why we use those.
Okay. So all of those are in that formula?
Yeah, you've got several formulas in that pack. You have the formula designed for the cardiovascular system, and then you have one for breathing, and you have, of course, your hawthorn berries in there. So you've got several things with instructions on how you would give those. We've had a couple of folks that have had those packs send us some feedback saying that they felt like they had the onset of a situation, heart attack, if you will. They had those signs where maybe they had a pain across their back or up their arm, and they took the formulas and it went away. So,
Wow.
you got to be smart, and lifestyle's a big deal. So we tell them herbs are great, but you got to kind of pair it up with a healthy lifestyle because you're reversing damage that's being done.
Yeah, no, that's so helpful because heart attacks or heart disease and cancer are pretty much the number one and number two ways people die. So
well, they do, Justin, they do cultural studies every year, and every year across the board there's one area of the world that comes up with 0 or maybe 1 or 2 cases of cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, and that is the area of the Mediterranean. And the reason is their diet. They have lots of antioxidants in their diet. They use olive oil, great oil to use, and even if you cook with it, it resists breaking down when it's heated. So I tell folks, if you just don't know what kind of diet to adopt, go investigate the Mediterranean one.
Yeah, no, that's so helpful. We are with Wendy Wilson from thepowerherbs.com, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll talk about, I want to ask you about cholesterol and some possible, herbs for men and women issues. So we'll be right back with Wendy Wilson. I hope you're enjoying the interview so far.